Welcome everyone. Alright, Bitcoin's making a little move here on the weekend, so decided to do a chill public live stream, answer some questions if anyone has any, and we'll maybe just look at a few different things here. Give me a second while I share the links here for this stream. Alright, Bitcoin's... I'm going to turn off my volume. For anyone new tuning in, just sharing some links here for this live stream. Let me just make sure I made this public. I did. All right. Shared on Discord and Twitter. I hope you all are having a great weekend. I just finished a members live stream and decided it might be nice to hop into here and can look at this move Bitcoin's having. Maybe just do some Q&A. I might take some chart requests. I don't have a specific plan for this. Maybe just share some ideas here and what we could look at over the weekend. Maybe I'll start by going over this Rune trade that I shared on Twitter and how I'm looking at Rune and why I'm out of my short. Should be obvious because we came out through the resistance here. But if you watch that little video I did on Rune, you know, I took the short here, this horizontal resistance, back test of this trend line. We had a nice 5% rejection. So just want to know, if I take a short and I get a 5% rejection, I'm certainly taking profits and putting my stop loss at break even. There's no reason to turn a winning trade like that into a loser. And if I come out and get stopped out at my entry and I want to re-enter, I always can. So take profits, it's a winning trade, but why aren't I shorting Rune again? Well, the context of all of this has changed now. We got that rejection. Now we've pushed up through, and this key horizontal level that I had shared as resistance, which was here, is now support. And we can see that, you know, this is just called a support resistance flip. A level that's resistance gets flipped and is now acting as support. So if we're claiming a level of support, you know, this is even a opportunity to get into a long, right? Because you're back testing this region as support that used to be resistance. It's quite nice. It's a perfect support resistance flip. So what do I do when I'm trading levels? Well, I'm looking to short resistance. Obviously we got that 5% pullback. I get stopped out of the remainder of my short, and now we're claiming that level. So, you know, we had Oh yeah, this was from a members live stream idea. I mean, something I was sharing. I'm gonna make a video on it. It's really important, but I won't do it today. Just get rid of these one by one. Ape, also, there's some nice setups here. As we, obviously, I've deleted a lot of the analysis, but we had that long. There's a nice short here. So we came into this level. Nice long off the bottom of the channel. Take profit in the middle. We had this deviation trade that I also shared, where you take the lows of this range, you push out, back test it as support perfectly, you push up through the range. Now we're testing the middle of the range. For me, I'm looking for a rotation back to the highs as a possible short entry. Not interested in trading the middle of the range. While the middle of the range is below you, it's support. When it's above you, it's resistance. I like to just wait for the extremes of the range, the highs and the lows, to look for trade opportunities. Nice move on Bitcoin. I don't think it's likely to follow through, frankly, on the weekend, but it may. Local golden pocket resistance and the top of this ascending channel. So, you know, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm thinking we will get higher. But that could happen a week from now. Who knows? Could happen today. But I'm not trading anything unless it's a high probability setup, right? So I have longs from lower. Look for shorts at resistance. I trade them both at the same time. But just because a move's happening, I'm in the move from lower. So I went through a lot of this in the members live stream today about the importance of waiting for a key level. And Ape is a perfect example. I don't care what happens in the middle of the range. I'm looking for my longs at the lows, taking profits, and my shorts at the highs. I don't care if we reject here, you know, whatever happens here, I don't care. I'm not taking trades because those aren't high probability setups. So a lot of times in trading, you're just trying to be patient. Wait for your key levels to be hit. If they aren't hit, don't take a trade. It's that simple. Quite a good example of this on Luna. I am covering some of the things I covered in the members live stream, but I'll just cover a few of them quickly. I was interested in this level on Luna. Initially, it wasn't hit, and so I didn't take a short. And even I was asked, you know, is it likely we hit it? And down here, I didn't think it was so likely. But I was fine to miss the short. I still had an alert set up here. And it's when we got my level, I took the short. And then I took this short. And so I'm happy to just wait for my levels to be hit. I don't care if I miss a trade. Because if I don't have a level there, how do I trade it? And I don't care if I missed it because I don't know what's going to happen. So that's important to think about when you're trading. You don't know what's going to happen, so you shouldn't care what happens. And you should just take trades based on your analysis. And a lot of times you need a lot of patience to take good positions. And understand, everyone has their own analysis. I'm sure you're getting the price action that's going up and down, so clearly people are buying and selling. But for me, I'm not interested in this long, even though it rallied up to the middle of the channel. I was interested in this long, the first test of the lows of the range. Take profit in the middle of the range. This was a nice trade. I think it's got to be like 8% or something. I can't remember. Yeah, 8.7. And then interested in this deviation trade. Same thing for this short. I was interested in the first touch of the highs of this range, and more interested in a deviation of the highs, like we got deviation of the lows, and shorting the reentry. If we clear the range and test it as support, not so interested in a short. Same thing here. when you're breaking down, if you do this, this isn't the long. The long is the reclaim, right, of these lows. The stop under the deviation. Straightforward if you understand these concepts. Not so much if you don't. Someone in the chat is asking if I think BTC could go to the lower stages like 30,000 range soon, especially after passing the 50 moving average. Or will it take bad news? This might come as a surprise to you guys. I don't really consider news when it comes to price action. You know, I think the news forms around the move. The move doesn't form around the news. If you're familiar with my Twitter account and things I've been posting on Bitcoin over the last few months, one of the ideas I shared before any of this happened, almost to the dollar, was, you know, this Gartley harmonic. And I shared it around here, and this level hit, we rejected, we bounced probably within $5 of this target. And all of this was posted months in advance. Was there news that came out around here? Yeah, this is CPI numbers. Even bad inflation numbers came out and people said, shouldn't that be bullish? Right? Why is price going down? And it's like, and then you get a little rally. It's like the market's trying to figure out what it means. The market's looking for liquidity. And people typically try to just find a way to make the news fit what's happening. Why is price going down in bullish news? Oh, because people are, it was already priced in, or people were thinking about this or thinking about that. Why'd price go down? Oh, the Russian war started. You know, the invasion of Ukraine. Price is coming down. Why'd price shoot back up? There's this other news that's coming out. When price is searching for liquidity, technical ideas are playing out, and people are trying to use news retrospectively to justify what's happening. So, yeah, for me, I'm expecting higher based on liquidity and technical ideas. Into this 48K region is my primary target. And this could end quite bearishly. If it does, if this idea plays out, it's just an idea, this, I'm sure there will be some really bad news. But, or news that is somehow applicable to Bitcoin. You know, the stock market's certainly in a precarious position with a strong rally. I've gone over some of those ideas before, but to me it's all technical. I was going to short, the likelihood of me shorting this level, regardless of the news, I wouldn't ever even read the news, was very high before down here. You know, the likelihood of this rejection was high because of liquidity. You know, yeah, it's just interesting. So-and-so's buying, whatever, $1 billion of Bitcoin, $2.5 billion of Bitcoin. That's why price is going up. Sure. If that's how you want to interpret what's happening, but I don't think it's the best way. So let me give you a scenario. I think this is a good way of explaining it, actually. Let's pretend that there's two traders in the Bitcoin market. There's retail, which is one trader. This is just to simplify it. And then there's the market maker. So if I'm the market maker and I can control the market, regardless of the news, retail can never move the market against me, and I can always move the market against retail. Let's say price pushes up here, tons of longs opening, tons of leverage, everyone's long in this breakout, and I'm a market maker, and I can make $200 million by just putting downward selling pressure here. Will I decide not to do that because some good news came out? And I know it's hard to imagine, but the truth is retail doesn't control the market. we're just spectators and speculators, and market makers do. And especially in cryptocurrency, there's really no counter traders. There's no counterparties. So the same, whereas in the bigger markets, commodities and forex and stock market, there are big entities trying to hunt each other down. There's dolphins in here, but ultimately you have the same usual suspects pushing the market up and down. And if you get out of that idea that this is a battle between bears and bulls and realize that it's probably the same people that are pushing price up, the same entities that are pushing price down from here are the ones pushing price up from here. And this isn't bears and bulls, retail traders moving price back and forth. This is big institutions making money and grabbing liquidity. So anyways, if bad news comes out, good news comes out here, which typically happens, there's some news to explain why you should be taking this long, which is why, you know, even if we go to, this is a big spike in volume right at the highs here, but if we go to the 15-minute chart, actually, I mean, this has become kind of a meme now, because there was a bunch of big Twitter accounts posting like, bullish, I'm longing this, like literally at the exact highs of this move. This is a liquidity type move at the highs. But you have, you know, in a 15-minute candle, this candle, you have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of longs across exchanges opening at the exact high. So the big institutions are filling their short positions and they're grabbing all this liquidity and they're unloading their short positions at the lows, building longs. The same thing is just going to keep happening over and over and over again. So the point is, you know, there's certainly some good news, lots of bullish sentiment here, people longing this breakout, but the market maker, would you care if you just could control the market? Would you care what the news is? If you said, we can almost with certainty make a ton of money, fill short positions and drive price down because there's all these longs open, they have no way of defending their position. So if you have no way of defending your position against them and you have no control, you're just a retail trader, you opened a long here, and now you're at the whims of hoping that you're on the same side as the market maker. But if you're the market maker, do you care what the news is? No, you just drive price down. But there's good news. I don't care. The money I can make, the way that I can make money here as a market maker is driving price down. I've filled my short positions. I've generated the liquidity I needed for that. And now I want to drive price down. That's how I'm going to make money. You know, same thing down here. Filling your long positions. And there's all this bearish sentiment, bearish bad news. Tons of shorts coming in, obviously at the lows. I mean, if you traded this, you remember the short squeeze. I've filled my longs. I've unloaded my shorts. Do I care if I'm a market maker that there's bad news? No. I'm just going to make money. I'm going to squeeze out these shorts. I'm going to consolidate, build my long positions, unload them at the highs. Again, the exact same thing. Why does all this volume always come in at the highs? Right? So if you look at this on the 15-minute chart, same thing as before, get this huge spike in volume. That's liquidity, right? That volume, if you're a big trader, you need these scenarios to build your positions. And so you want to push price up to trap breakout traders, to stop out early shorters. You build this liquidity, and then you drive price down again. And you unload your shorts, everyone's bearish again, and you do the exact same thing, and it can get really volatile. But you'll notice, oftentimes, these huge volume spikes get generated at the highs and the lows. And that's a sign that liquidity is being grabbed. This is primarily shorts being squeezed, by the way. So if it's primarily shorts being squeezed, not necessarily likely to be a strong move. But for me, on a higher time frame, there's a lot of liquidity above here. How many people on Twitter are talking about when 46K breaks? So I think, you know, price moving up eventually through these highs, it's going to trap a lot of bulls, potentially. You know, anything can happen. It's just an idea I'm looking for. Lots of volume coming in, shorts being stopped out, people longing. Maybe. We'll see. But we can just look level to level. We don't need to project. Will price go to 20K from there? Well, first we need to get through this big point of control. We need to, you know, see how price interacts at key levels. Trillock, you're asking about Rune. I think you can scroll back on the live streams while they're playing, but I did cover it just a little bit ago. Yeah, so let's look at this move. Again, even though I'm bullish, this could be the move. I'm just not trading this, but, you know, let's say we do reject from here. I'll put that parallel channel again. It might just be a minor rejection. You know, obviously, it's like price does this, right? Working towards its ultimate destination, wrecking people along the way. But until I see some major support zones lost, I'm bullish, and I wouldn't be surprised to see over the coming days or week a push up through the highs of this range. This is my target for Bitcoin. And I've been posting about, yeah, if you followed me for a while, I've been posting about this literal exact price action for a long time, for months. This high, this low, push up. And this is it's a Gartley harmonic. There's lots of different harmonics. And why does price action repeat these types of patterns for harmonics, which is just a series of fib retracements? I'm sorry, I'm just getting an alert on my phone. We're just reading what it is. Just curious, because you don't get those very often. Whatever, I don't know. But it's because this type of price action across all markets generates liquidity, right? So someone asking, when am I selling my course or going to start one? Well, I do have a members group where I do members live streams and share educational material, and I'm building more. I have some really exciting things I'm working on that, you know, I think it's just going to offer a ton of value for members, and, you know, hopefully stand out in the sea of different groups and things that you can join. My goal is ultimately to help people become independent and successful traders. Yeah, and just help you on your road to profitability if that's what you want to do. I know a lot of people so I find Bitcoin, like a lot of people are interested in altcoins, which is certainly understandable. You know, I think Bitcoin's always important to track because generally the market follows it, but of course altcoins can move without Bitcoin. So if you're trading altcoins, you need to do analysis on those as well. I had a comment the other day, which I think I don't blame the person for commenting this. I think it's a common understanding or thought that there's no point in charting altcoins because they're just going to follow Bitcoin. But clearly, for anyone who's been in the space for a while knows that's not true. Because we have coins move 200-300% while Bitcoin is ranging. Someone's asking me to look at Phil. Let's see. That's Filecoin, right? I typically like to chart on Bybit. It's my favorite exchange by far. In fact, I'm just going to tell you why it's one of the reasons why it's my favorite exchange. And that is this. I think it's here. All right, so This was actually an XMR chart. Somebody was asking about in the members live stream. By the way, I shorted this just because it's a technical trade setup. I think XMR looks bullish, but you know, I have risk management. I have an idea. But anyways, this is Binance. And Binance likes to do this a lot on a lot of coins. I'm not a big fan of Binance. I would never trade on it. It likes to wick up in minutes, in seconds, 40%, and come straight back down. And if you were shorting this, it ran through your stop loss and liquidated you, even if you had one, probably. Now, other exchanges oftentimes don't do that. You know, at the same time that Binance pushed all the way up to $270, you know, we got big moves on other exchanges, KuCoin, Bybit, whatever, but they didn't push up to here, right? So anyways, I prefer Bybit. Again, my link for that is in the description as well if you decide to join with it. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't understand how people can trade on Binance. It goes down at some of the most opportune times, and there just seems to be a real liquidity issue on Binance. So, yeah, I'm not accusing them of anything. Simply saying I don't like them. All right. Oh, what just happened there? All right, so Filecoin. I mean, certainly in a high time frame support zone. But this is important horizontal resistance on the daily chart. So you need to watch for a rejection here. The thing is, I think it's hard. Like, let's just say you're a Filecoin, FIL enthusiast. It's hard to imagine, well, price can't go lower, right? Like, it has to go back up. But in reality, you know, price could go to 90 cents. So anything can happen. Is that likely? Probably not. So just on a higher time frame, yeah, this I think is a key level. You want it to be above. And could offer, you know, we've interacted with it here. Actually looks kind of similar to the lower time frame ape setup. But you know, you might look at something like this. Not financial advice, just telling you technically if you're bullish, if you're looking for longs, maybe that's the level you want reclaimed. You can start doing some local analysis too. Not on the daily chart. Come down to the 4-hour chart. Someone said I tried to join members but cannot credit. Message me on Discord or Twitter, just DM me, and we'll figure that out. I recognize your name. For some reason I thought we figured that out, but maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I like parallel channels. So just locally on the 4-hour chart, you can see some signs. You know, this was resistance, resistance, resistance. You can see some signs that we're breaking out of this downward trend. And then you probably have, sorry about the dog barking, an alternate parallel channel where we're testing the middle of it. Certainly could pull some fibs locally. So it's important to note this is going to be heavy resistance. It's a local 618 retracement, if you're familiar with fibs. And then you also have this horizontal line here, aligning. So, you know, expect that to be heavy resistance. And, you know, you could also say if we claim that level, well, that's claiming it into strong support. If you're trying to get kind of granular with an entry and snipe an entry, well, from this pivot low, which a lot of times when you pull fibs, you can pull them from either the absolute low or a key pivot. A lot of times you'll find, if you do have a parallel channel idea, pulling from a pivot on the second touch of the parallel channel can work nicely. But maybe you get a retest of the lows of the channel around $18.26, intersecting here. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Maybe we reject from this golden pocket. I just knew it was the golden pocket. I haven't analyzed this, but likely suspect. So maybe we reject here. Resistance on a fib pull is left to right, and support is high to low, left to right, but always left to right. High to low for resistance fibs, low to high for support. So maybe we reject locally here, and we come down 5%. And this could be a local entry that you could take profits on reasonably. Maybe a stop under here. Maybe you add an alert, and if you get that set up, you trade it. And you take profits reasonably, move your stop loss to entry, and if you do get a bullish move up, maybe you compound your position above here. I'm talking hypothetically. I'm not giving people any advice. Those would be the kinds of things I'd look for on Phil. So just to go through sort of the principles here. Oops. Identify high time frame ideas. Then maybe go in and look at medium time frame ideas, breaking up this descending channel. Then go in and look at local ideas and just see how that all plays together to possibly present you with some ideas for a trade. Just checking something here on Bitcoin. One second. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a rejection here on Bitcoin. It also is, if we look at this as a same thing as what I kind of shared on Altcoin with the deviation trade. I think I shared that. I kind of get the live streams mixed up in my head. This could be looked at as a deviation of this ascending channel. Now we're back testing it as resistance. One thing you'll find, or I find anyways, is Bitcoin is a little bit more aggressive about faking out and breaking, like even through the golden pocket here, through this ascending, whatever. Whereas altcoins actually can be a lot more technical than Bitcoin, where you get more clean interaction with levels instead of fake outs and whatever. Someone asked for VRA. Bitcoin Cash. Yeah. I guess I think I must have done some VRA. Wasn't necessarily going to do a bunch of analysis here, but I don't know. I'm sitting with some coffee and maybe just willing to look at a few things. Hey, if you guys appreciate this content, obviously, whatever. I don't actually even know how YouTube works because I'm pretty new to it, but apparently if you like it, that's good. Like, subscribe, whatever. I don't know. VRA. So if you just have like a standard protocol for analysis, first check for any fib interaction. These are support fibs. So we got some interaction at the 786. I mean, let's see, 50% move off there. You know, the 886 we've tapped. There's probably some harmonic ideas here. So what I like to do is pull high time fibs, high time volume profiles. Very big point of control developing here. So this is just a high volume area. This tells you this is a place of interest. Lots of volume being transacted here. This price being the highest volume area. And then horizontal levels, right? So you go to, you can do this on the weekly chart, on the daily chart. Sometimes it makes it a little bit more clear. It looks like, for example, this kind of resistance area on the weekly chart looks more clear. You have these weekly closes, you have these tests of this level. Let's just call this a key horizontal. And you can just see the interaction. So now if we go down to the daily chart, let's see how, okay, so we see this level is still relatively clear on the daily. And probably worth leaving on is a key horizontal resistance. Pull some fibs for resistance and see if you get any interaction. So after you've done some higher time frame analysis, which the way I'd like, what I like to do with volume profiles is I just mark the point of control with a horizontal ray, because sometimes you can't see it on a lower time frame. So when you go to the lower time frame, it still appears and you have it as a key level. And you can see on the hourly chart, we're certainly interacting with it a lot as resistance, support, resistance, kind of impulsed off of it. Then you just could start pulling some channel ideas. Same thing that we did on the other coins. So this is certainly a range here, with the top of the channel possibly offering resistance. Wouldn't be surprised if from one of these higher pivots, this is also a 382, but let's see. 382 there, and from here it aligns perfectly with this key horizontal. So that's a big level of resistance on VRA. It's about 18% away. So obviously we have this ascending channel. If we break out, we need to, this is, I'd say, the key level to flip every resistance. Or you can even reject from it, come down to the point of control again, and then come back and retest it. You know, price typically it likes to range. It doesn't like to make it easy to trade. Just like here, up, down, you know, stopping people out, stopping them out of shorts, stopping them out of longs, and then eventually making a move. So you're just looking at interaction for those key levels, and you have probably some ascending channel ideas here as well on the hourly that you could look at. So it just depends, you know, if you're looking for shorts, if you're looking for longs, identify resistance, identify support. I don't like the way I drew this at all. Yeah, something like that. And then you can pull some local fibs. You know, so you can see, you know, here again we rejected from this local golden pocket, which aligned with the middle of this channel, and I need to watch this locally as resistance. I hope this, what I want to, I hope it's not overwhelming to see all this analysis on a single thing, but the idea is you start on a high time frame, you identify your high time frame levels, and you just work your way down to lower and lower time frames. So for example, when I'm trading a high time frame level, I might have that level from a weekly, daily, whatever chart. But then when I'm actually trading it, I'm going to find my entries on a low time frame. On the hourly, when I'm at hourly, I'm going to start looking at the 15-minute chart. And I'm going to take my entries as accurately as possible, because this analysis works. This style of analysis, because price action is fractal, which means it behaves the same on every time frame, this style of analysis works on every time frame. And so as you get more granular, you'll notice that a lot of times the 15-minute chart looks very similar to hourly charts and daily charts and weekly charts. And so why not put in some of the effort to do some of this analysis on lower time frames and get more precise entries? That's how I look at it. It's the same thing, with patience, precision. It can make the difference between a winning trade and a losing trade. Someone's asking for FTM. Why not? Let's do it. I think I reviewed FTM in a members live stream just earlier today. Level of interest to the upside. The funny thing is, I don't know if you're new, whoever asks for FTM or whatever, if you're new to following me or anything, but most of my analysis that I share is going to be relevant for a long time, which is like I did a video on FTM, which was, we bounced off the lows of this descending channel. Here, this rejection here was the golden pocket from here to here, this trend line, great short opportunity around $2. This was a great long. So I just said, hey, here we are. It was back here, flirting with the middle of this channel. If we break through the middle of the channel, I'll be looking for the highs of the channel, which would come near the end of the month. And maybe we get this intersection again as a suspect for a short trade. So these are the levels on a higher time frame I'm looking at. If you're interested in trading a lower time frame, well, you might come down to, let's just go even to the hourly chart. I think this is essentially what I shared in the members chat or live stream. But same thing, you have this parallel channel that you can draw. Maybe you use these lows as your trend angle up to these highs. So important to realize, because you use these lows, for those that aren't familiar with parallel channels, I'm just going to show you something. All right. I hope this is clear. I can draw this channel here. I use the lows of the trend angle. I use this high. And now I have this channel. What happens as price progresses? Ooh, we're going to have to speed this up a little bit. We have a relevant channel that we drew a week ahead of time, and we rejected from the high, right? So, this isn't hindsight. These aren't hindsight ideas. Same thing, a little later in the next 24 hours, we have an intersection of a golden pocket in the bottom of the channel and the middle of this bigger channel. If you're interested in longs, you might look for a move like this. Maybe put your stop loss under one of these lows. That could turn into a lot bigger swing long up into this channel, but you certainly would want to look to take profits here and here. And just understand, not financial advice, when I say you, that's hypothetical. I mean, that's something I would look at potentially on FTM. I kind of want to share this because it's, you know, this replay idea is kind of a cool idea for sharing ideas. So anyways, yeah, you have this parallel channel. You know, you draw it like this. Just want to point out that we could draw this channel here, which I did, and it's relevant as price progresses. You see interaction at the middle of the channel. You lose the middle of the channel, you're just floating with it. I don't like trading the middle of channels. Now, price is going to do something interesting in a second. If I remember correctly. Remember, you had all the information you needed to draw this channel back here. What do you do there when price touches the middle of the channel or bottom of this descending channel? You long it, just like a range, but it's slanted. And now you might be waiting as the days go by and say, well, where's big resistance? What if I pulled a fib from here to here? Oh, there's a nice interaction at this golden pocket in the top of this channel. You know, what might I do with this long, and what might I look for in a possible short? Well, I might take a short here, certainly a big take profit on a long. 60% move. And now you have your short from here, you longed here, and this is why I like parallel channels and fibs and these intersections. They're and just look, perfect interaction with the middle of the channel. I mean, that's probably a 15% bounce. If you're interested in, no, it was a 6% bounce. But if you're interested in scalping, you know, you might have some confluence. I wouldn't be surprised if this was, it looks like a 786. Maybe it's not, we'll just see. Nope, certainly probably an 886. Yeah, so it was the 886 to the dollar, but it's the middle of the channel. So you have the middle of the channel, and you might look for some fib confluence there, some other things. You could scalp along there. But again, I don't like trading the middle of channel so much as the extremes. And then where can you get another long? It's coming in a second. Off the bottom of this channel again. And so the point is, this channel was able to be drawn back here. With a little bit of patience, you could have made a lot of money trading it. But anyways, let's go back to current price. And you'll notice, like, you'll see this type of thing in my analysis a lot, where I'm not necessarily drawing how I think price action will progress. I'm just drawing price action to a target I'm interested in. So it's like I shared this link idea. I was interested in this short with an interaction of this golden pocket and parallel channel. You'll see repeating themes in my analysis because this is how I trade and it works very well for me. All right, so I'm being asked to do a Bitcoin Cash real quick. I haven't looked at Bitcoin Cash in a long time. Since 2017. Just kidding. You know, Yeah. One thing is too, like when people ask me to look at a coin, sometimes it's like I don't really know what you're looking for, right? Like you just want just like all analysis on it every time frame, whatever it is. But hopefully, even just watching this, you guys just get a sense for, even if you have a different style of analysis where you're looking at EMAs and whatever, like, I don't use moving averages and stuff like that just because, like, for example, with all the FTM stuff I just showed you, people will say stuff like, how can you be bearish? We haven't even crossed under this moving average. It's like, well, we're down 50% from my short target. I'm not bearish. I just shorted resistance. Like, sorry, I gotta go back to this FTM idea really quickly. It's just an important principle. Like, this is such an easy short to take. Even if you just want to put your stop loss above this high, for me. But people would say, you're an idiot shorting FTM, or look how much we're up 60% from this low. We're above this moving average. We just printed bullish superstar candle inverse whatever. It's like, okay. And then, we break down and, okay, it's time to get bearish, everyone. We're below this moving average. That's certainly a leading indicator, right? Or lagging, sorry. Where I don't need to wait until we're below a moving average or whatever. I mean, if you think about what that information is telling you, it's important, people are looking at it, but what does it mean when price moves below an average of a trend, a moving average? Well, it just means you're moving below the moving average. Is that necessarily your optimal short entry? No. Your optimal short entry might have been 40% ago, where you could use high time frame resistance, local analysis, high time frame analysis to get a beautiful entry and whatever. I'm not saying, someone said it sounds so easy when I explain it. Yeah, it does. I'm not saying it is that easy. It takes a lot of thousands of hours to even just get the confidence, right? Like, a lot of times, and I will get back to Bitcoin Cash in a second, this is a 15-minute chart. Let's go here. Yeah, this level is nice, but look at this. Do you think it's easy to open your short here? Looks easy when you zoom out, but it's not, right? And then maybe this happens, you open your short here, and then you get stopped out because you put your stop here, and then you just take a bunch of losing trades and you give up, and then the breakdown happens, and you never got the short. It's just, it does look easier than it is, which is something I covered in the live stream today for the members, is like Ape, there's some trade setups. People are just taking those trades so early because they're afraid they're going to miss the move, the level won't be hit. If the level's not hit, just don't take the trade. You don't get a trade. I mean, it's like, if I think we're going to rotate up to the top of this channel again, I'm looking for longs here, well, and this little rally happens, am I going to long here because I'm afraid that the bottom of the channel is not going to get hit? I don't know what's going to happen, but if I can have the patience to wait and just take the trade down here, same thing here, price isn't going to move in a straight line. If my target's going to be hit, I know it's not going to look like this, right? Price is going to work its way there, so we'll see. Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent. Let's go back to Bitcoin Cash. I guess it's back at the bottom here. Oops. So clearly, and this is where I want to, hopefully you guys that aren't familiar with technical analysis, you'll notice that as I analyze more and more and more of these different assets that probably have different fundamental aspects and news coming out about them and whatever it is, they all kind of just do the same thing. They all behave and interact with support and resistance levels similarly. They move similarly. It's not just cryptocurrencies, it's most. Assets. Sorry, I didn't finish that sentence. All right, so certainly a key horizontal level here. Just curious how big this move was, 43%. We have a golden pocket resistance here. Always need to be careful for a swing failure of that high and then rejection. But I'd say claiming this level is really important locally on Bitcoin Cash. Oh yeah, somebody asked what a deviation trade was earlier. I'll answer that in 1 second. You know, I think these live streams are great for participants, but I do understand that, like, for people coming to a YouTube channel to rewatch something, more refined content is probably the way to go. Yeah. So anyways, this isn't pulled to the lows, obviously. I'm just curious. Yeah, I mean, same thing, Bitcoin Cash. You need to look for this horizontal resistance to be claimed. Can pull support fibs. The 618 golden pocket region is important. The 382 is always important. It's an inverse 618. So I won't get into that now. But basically, it's the ratio between 0 and 382 is the same as the ratio between 100% and the 618. So you can look at them as kind of the two most important fibs. Yeah. So yeah, as far as Bitcoin Cash goes, I mean, I wouldn't be looking to, if anything, I would have been looking to short this horizontal level, but I mean, that was days ago. So there's no trade here for me. Looking for support, resistance. So one misconception just in trading in general is that it's about predicting what's going to happen. Like, for example, like I might come up with something, this is what the misconception is, or I say, you know what, because of these reasons, Bitcoin Cash is so strong right now, it's going to break through this resistance and it's going to go to all-time highs. Well, all I'm actually doing is identifying support and resistance. Are we getting nice, like this was a perfect double bottom here. So you obviously, like down at the support levels, price likes to interact with these wicks. That was nice. Support, right? We got 2 opportunities at it. The retest of the support level is probably your long entry. But all you're really doing is looking at support and resistance levels, trying to take longs at support, shorts at resistance, take profits reasonably. Sometimes I will, based on Elliott waves or other ideas, have extra bullish sentiment. But even if I have the extra bullish sentiment or extra bearish sentiment, it doesn't mean that I'm just trading randomly, longing anything, shorting anything. I'm still waiting for key levels. So somebody asked what a deviation trade was. Let's just look at Ape. The 1 hour. So on Ape, so a deviation trade is this. If we could pretend this price action in the middle didn't exist, this is a range, right? We were in the range before we broke down. You can see it here, the lows, the highs. This was a whole other trade setup down here. But now we re-enter the range. So price comes up, backtest the lows of the range, pushes up into the golden pocket / the highs of the range. So what I was anticipating when I had that long from lower, when I took this short, that we're going to range here. And then if you're in a range, you're always looking for a deviation of the range, which can offer a trade setup. A deviation means, I know English isn't the first language for everybody, a deviation means a departure from the range, but with a re-entry, right? So you're always looking on the highs and the lows to depart from the range, to grab the liquidity under the range, and then re-enter, and you long the re-entry, the back test of the range. This is just technical. This is how you trade these technically. You long the back test of the range with a target of the top of the range and a take profit at least in the middle. You can split it up as well. And the same thing happens on the reverse. A deviation trade, or it could be called a swing failure too, right? But if you're in a range, it's kind of different than just swing failuring a level. So you can look for a deviation from the top of the range. You can trade the range lows, and you can trade deviations. Those are separate trades. But you might push up, take the highs of the range, and then re-enter the range. And you can trade that as well. It's a deviation, exactly as you traded the lows. You have to identify the range, though. So the point is, like for me, I don't care what Altcoin does because I've identified this range. I've gotten a short out of it. I've gotten a long out of it, taking profits in the middle. And now I'm just waiting for the highs of the range, possibly a deviation, and the lows of the range. And those are the trades I'm interested in. So I'm not going to trade the middle of the range, which you can see we got nice interaction with. Just reading some messages. Yeah, so if you want to hop over into the Telegram and the Discord, I'm sure most of you are in it. You can do that. There's the public and the private, or the members rather. Yeah, if you're considering joining the members group, I think now's a great time to do it. There's some really cool things coming in the future, near future, that I can't talk about yet, but I'll be talking about soon. And I think it's going to be pretty game-changing stuff just in the space in general. But yeah, so I hope you have a great weekend, as this stream grows or these types of things. Obviously, more questions. I can answer more questions. But one thing I want to just touch on before we depart is to understand that on your journey as a trader, yes, good analysis is very important, but until you can learn the psychological and emotional tools or gain those tools that you need to be successful, you will lose money trading good analysis, especially when it's not your own. Because it's one thing to have an idea, and it's another thing to actually trade it. So you need to build those skills. I think the membership group is a great place to grow as a trader. The link's in the description. I think it's the first link, luckychart8.com. And the membership is, someone's asking in chat, it's $47 a month, or there's a discount if you buy a year. And yeah, that's the price. The way I look at it, I've said this before, but like anything in life, if you're not willing to put in the work and the effort, you're probably not going to succeed at it. And trading is truly one of the most difficult skills to develop. So just keep that in mind on your journey. You're going to have to put in a lot of work. Becoming a successful, profitable, consistent trader is truly one of the most difficult things a person can embark on to do, because there's so many aspects to it that you just don't even know exist until you get into the journey. And a lot of those just aren't technical. They're emotional and psychological. You know, so for me, I think investing in tools, I look at the membership group as a tool. Investing in a tool that can help you succeed, save you a lot of time, money, and energy is worthwhile. Asking if I can make a video explaining divergences. I don't know if you're talking about, there's different types of divergences. One that I use on almost every trade is cumulative volume delta and looking for absorption and those types of divergences. And I have made a members video on it, if you're a member. I don't know who in here is a member and who's not. I'm sure there's members in here. I'm sure there's non-members. All right, well, I might wrap it up. I just sort of, I wasn't even going to do a live stream today, just decided I would. Some people asked if I was going to do one soon. But, yeah, we covered some analysis. Hopefully it was educational. I'll give 1 more minute for any more questions while I'm here, but otherwise I'm going to sign off. And I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I'm going to get some work done. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Let's take one more look at Bitcoin. I don't know if you were here earlier. I just said I'm not expecting a breakout here over the weekend. Mostly fueled by short squeezing. Rejection looks somewhat likely. Coming back into this channel. Some local resistance. I'm bullish overall, but perfectly willing to accept some of these ideas might play out. Even a move down to this point of control is possible before another move up. But all right, thanks guys. Someone's asking for DOT. I think I have analysis on it. If I do, I'll just share it. If I don't, roll up the dice. I might not reanalyze it. Interesting. Usually don't have these trend lines turned on. Yeah, I think I was just sharing a bunch of different concepts. Well, let's just say we have a point of control here. We have a 786 here, which is also aligned with a 382. Must be from the high here. So yeah, big resistance. I don't even know when I did this analysis. But whew, I'm sure this is confusing when I'm not starting from scratch. But basically, big resistance. We're in a local ascending channel. Pretty visible, I think, here. We're under the middle of the channel, potentially rejecting. Same thing locally. Might find interaction with the 382 or the 618 at the bottom of the channel. But overall, you know, I think DOT, I think a lot, it's coming off of some high time frame resistance, claiming the point of control. We could range here. It's looking, a lot of coins are looking like they're putting their bottoms in, but at the same time, if Bitcoin, you know, does move up to $48,000, a lot of altcoins are going to impulse with it. And if we do get a big rejection there to 30K, sub 30K, the sky's the limit / the bottom's the limit for how deep some of these altcoins can go. If you haven't been around the crypto space for a while, understand that some of these coins back in the old bull run drew down 99%. Like Ethereum went from $1,400 to $30. So as much as it seems impossible that your favorite coin, whether it's Rune or DOT or whatever, could go down to being next to worthless, it's possible. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, we're coming to support regions on a lot of coins, getting some nice bounces. You just have to be open to anything. I was kind of curious, yeah, how this Monero short is working out for me. So I took that short earlier today. But anyways, I think that's it. Someone said, one of the best TA videos I watched so far. I appreciate that. You know, I want to get better at streamlining my content. And I think there's a lot of value for those who are really interested in learning in these long-form TA live streams. Personally, you know, if I was starting out, I would love this type of like just analysis, you know, going through the concepts over and over again. But I know for a lot of people, they're just looking for when short, when long, you know, get to the point. I don't think those people are gonna do well in this space. But I do need to streamline the content and find ways to engage more people. And, you know, maybe just for some of those people, they don't even understand that you're not gonna make it, and GMI, whatever it is, if you don't start putting a little bit more effort into your thought process, your analysis, your ideas, understanding that 99% of the things you learn, or maybe it's 90%, and that are common on Twitter are backwards, completely wrong. Some of the most popular accounts are longing here. You don't need to name names, but the usual suspects. Literally, I'm long right here. A price that existed for 5 minutes as the absolute high of the move. That's when they're posting that they're longing. It's insane to me that, you know, that these people have massive followings that don't just dwindle. Where I can, I mean, I am happy with the interaction I get on social media. I haven't been on Twitter for very long, but, you know, it's like you could post 20 winning trades in a row that have the exact high and exact low of the move, and it's compared to some of these other bigger accounts, it's like crickets. So, you know, whereas these other bigger accounts are literally shorting the exact lows and longing the exact highs 20 times in a row, and have 1 million followers. It's a weird space. And the reason, I think, is people are looking for hope. So they sell hopium, and hope is important, you know. If you want to be inspired about the future of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all these things and why we're going to the moon, they're good accounts for that. And there's nothing wrong with believing in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or hope. But if you're trying to trade it, which is the problem I have with these accounts, where they're suggesting you trade with high leverage, 25, 50x leverage, and they're literally, it's insane. It's like you're guaranteed to essentially ruin your life. Yeah, if you are trading high leverage, being told to long the exact highs of moves and short the exact bottoms, with no concept of risk management, position sizing, and doing the exact opposite of what you should be doing. It is a recipe for disaster. How many people do you think just long this breakout? A lot. And long this one. And even if you're eventually right, you know, you got wrecked 50 times on your way to one winning trade. Yeah, someone's saying, you know, stick with it. I've been here a short minute, but you'll blow out. Also patient. Yeah, like I said, I'm quite happy with the interaction I've gotten whatever. It's like, I don't care necessarily about me specifically. I'm just saying, generally, the big accounts on Twitter aren't the best ones to follow, whether I existed in the space or not. It's just shocking how much, you know, how much traction these accounts have gotten. But like I said, it's kind of more of an emotional appeal, which is, I guess, fine. Not everybody wants to be a trader, right? Even if they're trading, they don't want to develop the skills, emotional, mental, technical, etc. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everybody. I don't, yeah, obviously a great way just to support the content, all that stuff, even if you don't want to become a member. If you're already trading on one of the exchanges below, like, I think Bybit, you just need an email address, whatever. You can create an account with an affiliate link if you're already trading. Personally, if you're not trading or you're brand new, I just don't recommend trading personally. Like, just focus on learning. But if you are, creating an account with an affiliate link, engaging on YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff, always appreciated. All right, thanks guys. Have a good weekend. Probably be back in the live stream Monday, Tuesday. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some big moves early in the week. If not, the weekend.